Good morning, everyone. In our previous topics, we discussed about Coulomb's law, Gauss law concepts. Now, in this first chapter of electromagnetic waves and transmission lines, let us have a discussion on electric potential. So, as with the introductory concepts of this chapter, that is from Coulomb's law, we can determine electric field intensity capital E due to charge distribution. And also the follow topic after Coulomb's law, we have discussed about Gauss law. So this Gauss law is used to determine electric flux density capital D. So now it is to apply Gauss law. Where we have to apply this Gauss law and when it is possible to apply this Gauss law? Gauss law can be applicable when and only if the surface is symmetrical. And such type of a surface is said to be a Gaussian surface. So over a Gaussian surface only we can apply Gauss law. So with the help of Gauss law we can determine electric flux density, and with the help of Coulomb's law we can determine electric field intensity and force. Now electric field can also be obtained from the electric scalar potential, that is capital V. So a new parameter now called electric scalar potential capital V is used to determine electric field. So in obtaining this electric field capital E in this way is very easier as compared to our previous case, because it is simple to handle scalars than vectors. It is simple to handle scalars than vectors. Due to that reason, it is easier to determine electric field with the help of electric scalar potential. Let us consider now, as shown in this figure, we have to displace a point charge from point A to point B, as shown in the figure. Charge at point A is having position vector RA, and also the charge at second point, that is point B, it is having a position vector RB. The distance from origin to an incremental distance dl, incremental length dl is r, that is rth vector. Now the electric field is moving in the upward direction as shown in the figure. Now in displacing a point charge from point A to point B, how much amount of potential is required? That is what we are going to determine now. So in displacing a charge from point A to point B, naturally electric field is supposed to be used. So as the electric field is producing here, and in moving a charge from point A to point B, some additional or external work is to be done. So their potentials needs to be changed. That is called displacement potentials. So that is what we are supposed to discuss right now, or difference potentials we call them. Okay. Let us consider a situation. A point charge Q is to move from point A to point B, as we discussed just now. According to Coulomb's law, the force on charge Q is, we know the formula, that is F is equal to charge Q into the produced electric field E. That is our first equation. Now, the amount of work done in displacing the charge by a differential length dl is given as, we can write the differential work done is dw is equal to minus f dot dl. That means as we are applying some force, means some work is done. So these two are opposite to each other. Therefore dw is equal to minus f dot dl. Therefore dw is equal to minus f is qe dot dl is our second equation. So in this second equation, negative sign is an external agent. So the total amount of work done or the potential required in moving the charge Q from point A to point B is, so just now we have gone for differential length, or to say an incremental length. Now let us calculate it for total length of that line. Then capital W is equal to minus Q integral over a length of line point A to point B, the amount of electric field produced E dot dl is our third equation. So W is equal to minus Q integral A to B E dot dl. Now dividing equation 3 by Q, it gives potential energy per unit charge. So potential energy per unit charge, that is W by Q. We know V suffix AB is known as the potential difference between point A and point B. Therefore, VAB is equal to potential difference, that is equal to minus Q integral A to B E dot dl. Fourth equation. Okay, so as of now, with the help of Coulomb's law, we have taken force, then we determine the amount of differential work done in moving a charge in differential length, then expanded it for the total length, that means the total amount of work done, and analyzed that concept in terms of potential difference VAB. Now, from the fourth equation, we extend as we can notice the following points. VAB, the potential difference is negative, then there is a loss in potential energy in moving a charge from point A to point B. If VAB is negative, then there is loss in potential energy in moving the charge. If VAB is positive, then there is a gain in the potential energy. And VAB is independent of path taken. VAB means potential difference between 2 points A and B. That VAB is independent of path taken, and VAB is measured in joules per coulombs, that is volts. Now, the electric field due to a point charge Q located at the origin. See, as in this diagram, let us consider one origin point. So, with respect to that, we are going to calculate the electric field due to a point charge Q located at the origin is, we can write from Coulomb's law concepts, E is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into AR, unit vector AR. So E is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into AR is our fifth equation. But we know the potential difference VAB is equal to minus Q integral A to B E dot dl. So A to D means A position vector RA to RB position vector. So minus integral RA to RB Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square AR into dr AR. Therefore, it can be written as Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 divided by RB minus 1 divided by RA. It means VAB is equal to VB minus VA, where VA and VB are called absolute potentials at point A and point B. Up to here we have defined what is potential difference in terms of absolute potential. Now let us consider some conditions. That is, in general, infinity is taken as reference. So infinity. So thus if VA is equal to 0, that means absolute potential at point A is equal to 0 as RA tends to infinity. That means the point tends to infinity, potential at that point is equal to 0. So the potential at any point RB tends to infinity due to a point charge Q located at the origin is V is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into R is our seventh equation. Now with reference to this, we come to a conclusion that vectors whose line integral does not depend on the path of integration is called conservative. And this electric field capital E is conservative. The potential at any point is the potential difference between that point and a chosen point or reference point at which the potential is 0. This is the definition for potential. Now let us consider the other condition that as 0 potential is at infinity, then the potential at distance r from the point charge is the work done per unit charge by an external agent in transferring a test charge from infinity to that point. It means we consider our point at a distance r with reference to origin. When we have considered our measuring point small r with reference to origin point at the time, that to the origin point we have taken with reference to infinity, no. So infinity, at the time we can write potential as V is equal to minus integral VA actually, that A is now considered to be infinity. So infinity, and we have taken the B point at r distance. Therefore R E dot dl is our eighth equation. So V is equal to minus integral infinity to R E dot dl. If the point charge is not located at origin but at a point whose position vector is r dash. Now we are considering the other condition, that it is not, the point charge is not now located at the origin point. That means point A is not at origin now. It is, instead of origin, it is at a point that is r dash vector position. Then the potential V of x comma y comma z or V of r at r becomes, V of r is equal to q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r minus r dash magnitude. Yeah, this is our ninth equation. So this is electric potential due to a point charge. Now let us consider there are n number of point charges. Q1, Q2, Q3 up to Qn are located at different points with different position vectors R1, R2, R3 dash 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 up to Rn. Then the potential at R is given as V of R is equal to first charge Q1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R minus R1 plus Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught magnitude R minus R2 plus so on up to Qn divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R minus Rn magnitude. Therefore, V of R is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught summation K is equal to 1 to n Qk divided by magnitude R minus Rk. This is for point charges. This is our 10th equation. Now, for continuous charge distribution, replace our charge Qk with the charge element. Okay. So, then we can write V of the continuous charge distribution replace Qk with our charge element like rho L dl, rho S ds and rho V dV. That means line charge distribution, volume charge distribution and surface charge distributions. Then we can write V of R is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught integral L, that means integral over line, rho L of R dash divided R dash dl dash divided by R minus R dash. This is for line charge. Similarly, we can write for surface charge. V of R is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught integral S rho S of R dash ds dash divided by magnitude R minus R dash for surface charge. And finally, for volume charge, V of R is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught integral V rho V of R dash dV dash divided by magnitude R minus R dash. This is for volume charge. So, where R dash is source point location, R is field point location. Hence, finally we can conclude potential V as V is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R plus C, where C is constant that is determined at the chosen point of reference. So V is equal to minus integral E dot dl plus C. So VAB is equal to VB minus VA, that is minus integral A to B E dot dl, that is the amount of work done per charge W by Q. So this is the final outcome of this particular topic, electric potential. Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind participation and active listening to the lecture on electric potential. In the next session, we go for other topic like energy density and relationship between electric potential, that means electric field and potential. Okay, thank you very much. Since these topics are very useful and helpful for many of our students, faculty and researchers, kindly subscribe to our channel, Kasigari Prasad channel, and share the information to many of our educationalists.